Hey, welcome to the St. Raphael Youth Podcast. My name is Nathan, and this Sunday is the fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time. In the readings this weekend, we have Moses, Paul, and Jesus inviting us to live a certain way with complete focus on God, not just telling us to live that way, but also showing us by their example as well. Reading is from the book of Deuteronomy, and the book of Deuteronomy is filled with laws. The name Deuteronomy actually means a copy or repetition of the Jewish law. So it's filled with laws, not a very fascinating read unless you're a lawyer, maybe. But right in the middle of the book, chapter 18, we find our first reading. And here, Moses is alluding to Christ. He's pointing to Christ. He says that a prophet like me will the Lord God raise up for you from among your own people. So in this book of the Old Testament, Moses is setting up the coming of Jesus so that hopefully when he comes, the people will remember this passage and others like it and be like, oh yeah, Moses said that there would be a person who comes from our people and here he is. Now, obviously not all the Jews did that, but that's another story. When I think of this reading, I think of Moses who had a lot of power. He was the leader of all these people. He had a special relationship with God. He could have abused that power, but instead, he stayed focused on God, knowing that God is the source of whatever he has. And he knows that he won't be around forever. He acknowledges his smallness in the grand scheme of things, right? And he tells the people to focus on God, ultimately to listen to the person that God will send them, namely Jesus Christ. Paul in the second reading is also telling us to focus on Christ above all other things. He started telling us this last week when he said, those who are married act as those not married, and those who have jobs act as those who don't have jobs, etc. And here he continues and kind of explains what he meant by everything last week. Paul says, I want you to be free of anxieties. The unmarried person is anxious about the things of the Lord, but the married person is anxious about things of the world. And he ends the passage by saying that he's telling us this for our own good so that we can follow God without distraction. So is Paul telling married people to get divorced and follow God, or to leave your job and follow God instead, or to quit school and follow God, or join the seminary or the convent? Well, no. He's saying that no matter what your situation in life is, whether it's school, work, marriage, relationships, whatever, friendships, all of that should be coming from and lifted up by the primary relationship that we all have with God. All of those things should be dependent on our relationship with God. Again, Paul is inviting us to focus on God with everything we have and let that focus and that relationship be at the center and be seen in all the other things we do in our lives. So Moses is inviting us to focus on God. Paul is inviting us to focus on God. And in the gospel this weekend, Jesus himself is showing us what it looks like to focus on God. Jesus goes to the synagogue on the Sabbath. He's going to church. So already he's showing us what's important, that even he went to church, and he's God. He begins to participate in the service and he starts teaching the people. This takes us back to the first reading. Jesus is the person that Moses was talking about when he said that God would send someone from among them to teach them and guide them. After this happens, there's a person in the synagogue with what the Bible calls an unclean spirit. Now, what this means, was he possessed by a demon? Did he have epilepsy? Was he very ill in some way? We don't know exactly. But Jesus, following God, his Father, does one of the things he came to do, heal people. So in this passage at the very beginning of Mark's gospel, one of the things we can get from reading it is that whenever we follow God, focus our life on God, even as we go about doing the things we do, work, church, family, etc., school, we will be in positions to do the things God puts us on this earth to do at each moment of each day. So what did God put you on this earth to do? Jesus came to heal, to teach us how to live, how to die, and ultimately how to be resurrected with him. But what did God put you on this earth to do? The more that we focus on God and live our life for God, the more we'll know what to do in this world and be in the places that he wants us to be so that we can do those things. God bless you, take care, and see you next time.
We hope you like this video. Please click subscribe and ring the bell to be notified every time we post something new for you. God bless.